everyone, this is Teacher Joy, and I am your grade 5 language teacher.
Our topic for today is past continuous tense, affirmative and negative statements. But before that, let's do first our vocabulary. Follow after me. Grandparents, grandparents. Earthquake, earthquake. Scared, scared. Middle, middle. Lake, lake. Sweater, sweater. Curtain, curtain. Behind, behind. Fountain, fountain. Continuous, continuous. So what is past continuous tense? Past continuous tense indicates an action which started in the past and continued in a certain time period. The point to be taken into consideration is that the action started in the past and the continuity of the action was also in the past, so it does not continue at this moment. So we have here the structure of past continuous tense. Let's go first to the affirmative. Subject plus was or were plus verb ing. We have here an example. She was cooking all morning. Next one is the negative statement. Subject plus was or were plus not plus verb ing. She was not sleeping when he came home. She is the subject, and then was and not, then sleeping is the verb. Then we also have here the interrogative, but we will concentrate on the affirmative and negative statements. Was, were, plus subject, plus verb ing. Was she sleeping when he came home? So was, we use was, the subject is she, and the verb is sleeping. So we have here the affirmative and negative form. We have here the subjects I, you, we, they, he, she, it. I is singular You, we, they is plural. He, she, it is singular. Let's go first to I. We use I for affirmative. I was. I was playing. For negative form, we use wasn't. I wasn't playing, or we can say I was not playing. Next one is you, we, they. The affirmative, we use were. And the negative form, we use weren't or were not. Next is he, she, it. You will use was for he, she, it because the subject is singular. In the negative form, we use wasn't or was not. So for example, he wasn't playing. Okay. So if you observe the affirmative form, we don't use not, but in the negative form, we use not. So was becomes wasn't or was not, and were becomes weren't or were not. So the first usage of past continuous tense is the interrupted action. So we have here two examples. The first one is Glenn was driving home when he crashed into a tree. The past continuous tense is was driving. In the interrupting action is when he crashed into a tree. Number 2. I was sleeping when you called me. The past continuous tense is was sleeping. The subject is I, and the interrupting action is when you called me. So someone called you when you were sleeping. So that is the interrupting action when you called me. So next usage is parallel actions. Past continuous is used to show two actions happening at the same time in the past. So we have here the first example. I was reading while he was watching TV. So there are two actions here. The first one is I was reading, and the other one is he was watching. So there are two past continuous tense here. was reading, and was watching. The next example is while she was sleeping, Jack was doing his homework. The first action is she was sleeping. And the second one is Jack was doing his homework. So the other one was sleeping and the other one was doing his homework. So two actions happening at the same time. The first continuous past tense is was sleeping. And next is was doing. So we have here an activity for you. Look for a partner. Let's read first. Number 1. What were you doing 10 minutes ago? Number 2. What were you doing at 7 o'clock this morning? Number 3. What were you doing at noon yesterday? Number 4. What were you doing yesterday afternoon at 3 o'clock? Number 5. What were you doing 1 hour ago? Let's do number 1. Here is an example. So, what were you doing 10 minutes ago? I was sleeping 10 minutes ago. That can be an answer. So we have our next activity. So let's talk about the things that you were doing on the weekend. So write sentences about you. Okay, number 1. On Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, I. So you make your own sentence. So here is an example. On Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, I was eating my breakfast. Don't forget your past continuous tense. Okay? Number 2. at lunchtime. Number 3, at 3 o'clock. So what were you doing at 3 o'clock on Saturday? Number 4, at 6 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. What were you doing? I was cooking dinner, or many more. Number 5, at 8 o'clock, I was cooking my dinner. Okay, so there are many possible answers for this. Ready? Do it. Number 6, on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, I blank. Number 7, at lunchtime, I blank. Okay, so tell the things that you have done at lunchtime on Sunday. Number 8, at 3 o'clock. Okay, so you write one thing that you have done at 3 o'clock on Sunday. Number 9, at 6 o'clock. So you can say, at 6 o'clock, I was cooking my dinner. Okay. And number 10, at 8 o'clock, blank. So what were you doing at 8 o'clock on Sunday? So these are some possible answers on your activity. Number 1, on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, I was eating my breakfast. So was eating is the past continuous tense and the subject is I. Okay. Number 2, at lunchtime, I was eating my lunch. Was eating is the past continuous tense and I, of course, is the subject. Number 3, at 3 o'clock, I was watching my favorite movie. How about you? Number 4, at 6 o'clock, I was cooking my food for dinner. Number 5, at 8 o'clock, I was taking a shower. How about you? What time do you take a shower? Number 6, on Sunday at 10 o'clock, I was eating my breakfast. Number 7, at lunchtime, I was eating my lunch. Number 8. At 3 o'clock, I was drinking my coffee. Number 9. At 6 o'clock, I was cooking my food for dinner. And number 10. At 8 o'clock, I was taking a shower. So these are some possible answers. Okay, so let's have a short review. So far now, we have learned on past continuous tense, affirmative and negative. So when we say affirmative, we use was and were. And negative, wasn't and weren't. We also talk about two usage of past continuous tense. The first one is the interrupted action. So for example, I was sleeping when he knocked the door. So was sleeping is the past continuous tense, and the interrupting action is he knocked the door. And the second usage is parallel actions, wherein there are two actions happening at the same time. For example, Anna, while Anna was sleeping while she was eating. So there are two actions. So Anna was sleeping while the other one is eating. Okay? So that's all for now, and thank you for listening.
So that's all for today. I hope you learned something. Thank you and see you again next time. Bye bye.